Welcome to the Wild Grace podcast, where authenticity isn't a choice, it is your calling. Real, raw, untamed. This is your initiation into the wild. Hello and welcome to the Wild Grace podcast. My name is Malika and today we are talking about the nervous system. We're going to start off with how your life isn't a mindset problem, it's a nervous system problem. So many people are under the impression that we create our own reality. This is such a big one because the greats like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and then Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, who says that we create our own reality through our thoughts, and it's 100% true. However, so many people's nervous systems are jacked. We're running around with high cortisol levels and we're not really thinking straight. We're not thinking from a place of a calm, regulated nervous system. We're thinking from a place of fight or flight. And when you are under threat, your body literally feels like it's being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. We are not thinking or making decisions that are for the better future. We're thinking whatever is going to make us better in that moment. So you're searching for that quick release of dopamine, whether it means scrolling, binge watching TV, binge eating, drinking. We're really impulsive with our decisions. It could be fast sex. It could be anything that makes us feel safe and calm immediately in that moment. And those are the kind of decisions that come from overactive nervous system. We also can't digest when our nervous system is overactive, and so the food just sits there, and it can also just turn straight into fat, which is not something we ideally want. We want our body to be functioning efficiently. Around 40% of Australians report mental health conditions. That is mostly to do with stress, depression. All of those mental health illnesses come from a place of a dysregulated nervous system. It all starts in the nervous system, in the brain, starts overactive thinking, dark thoughts. It stems from your nervous system. A regulated nervous system improves decision-making, helping your relationships and resilience to life. So if your nervous system is dysregulated, you'll find yourself overreacting. You're really trigger happy. I've suffered from this myself, is if calm feels boring, your nervous system is addicted to chaos. Why you feel addicted to chaos and you call it chemistry. So if you feel like calm is boring, you, my friend, are addicted to chaos, and it's not your fault. It's how we are brought up. So for me, when I was growing up, I associated love with fear and anxiety because that was the relationship of my mum and my dad. And my mum showed me a lot of love, but then it was coupled with anxiety and fear. And so my nervous system was developed with mirroring her nervous system, and it took me a really long time, and still now in my intimate relationships, when everything is calm and nothing's wrong and everything is completely fine, I notice myself feeling like itchy or needing some kind of stimulation. And in the past, I've even just picked a fight because I find I get a lot of like energy and a feeling of safety and normality when things are more of a roller coaster, when it's other than it's just like smooth sailing. And that's all to do with childhood. When you get in a fight, dopamine spikes from unpredictable behavior. Trauma patterns wired to the brain to seek familiar emotional states, and cortisol and adrenaline can become biochemically addictive. I've had relationships in the past that go up and down, and I was so addicted to the push and the pull. My dopamine receptors were going off. Every time they brought me in, I'd get a release of dopamine, and then they'd push me away and I'd have that dopamine drop, and it become really freaking addictive. One way to calm the nervous system, the science of ritual and why high performers use it. The most powerful people in the world don't rely on motivation, they rely on ritual. Facts. Rituals reduce anxiety by creating predictability, which has been shown in behavioral psychology studies. Pre-performance rituals improve outcomes, which is sports psychology research, and repeated behaviors create neural pathways, which then creates neuroplasticity. One thing that a lot of the coaches say is to introduce some kind of ritual into your life to create that sustainability and normality and starting the day with intention and calmness. And this is where Blue Lotus has become such a beautiful tool for me. In the morning, I'll sit down, I'll have my tea, my morning drinks. I have 3 morning drinks. I've got my lemon water with cayenne pepper, and then I have my Fem 21 drink, which is great for balancing hormones. And then I'll also have my coffee, but I'll put in some Blue Lotus 200-to-1 extract powder in there. And I find that ritual and then journaling and just breathing in the morning, setting my intention for the day really does change it. I also light some sage and I set my intention for the day. I also cast a spell. I state my name clearly, and then I command with the power of my voice that all obstacles be cleared for this day for me to live my highest purpose. And it does work. I notice the days that I don't do my ritual, making my bed, having my tea, lighting the sage, setting out the intention, writing it down, that my day can be more erratic. And I have to catch myself, because if I start the day rushed, the whole day becomes rushed and my nervous system is just on the entire day. And when I make time to slow down in the morning with ritual or whatever suits you, it could be going for a walk or whatever it is, it can really change the way the whole day plays out. Your body is storing more than you think. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Emotional stress can manifest physically. The vagus nerve links emotional states to physical body regulation, and trauma can alter the baseline nervous system activation. So what that means is if you're in a high stress state over time, your body will start to go into inflammatory diseases. Depression is based on inflammation. Any IBS or gut problems is based on inflammation. Stress causes inflammatory markers. Heart disease is one of the biggest killers in the world, and that is all based off stress, which is then inflammation, which then goes to the heart. Yeah, so nervous system support is so important. And if you're in a really super stressed out job and you haven't made time to balance and restore and replenish your nervous system back to that calm state, over time it's going to show up as inflammation, whether it be sore joints or some kind of disease. This is not a joke. It's got to be a priority for you. Why you're not lazy, you're dysregulated. So one thing is, when we're feeling overwhelmed, our body can go into procrastination. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's a stress response. It's a freeze response, and you shut down when overwhelmed. Executive function decreases under stress. Prefrontal cortex impairment and energy management is greater than time management. So if you're suddenly feeling really overwhelmed and all you can do is sleep, that is your nervous system saying to you, I am overworked. So find time for yourself, self-care, nervous system repair. Find a way to find time for yourself. The hormone cycle is a superpower if you work with it. You're not inconsistent, you're cyclical. So hormones shift across the menstrual phases. Estrogen and progesterone, energy, focus, and social behavior naturally fluctuate. Training and productivity aligned with the cycle improves outcomes. So if you are a woman, it is very beneficial to organize things within your cycle. For me, I noticed that from day one of bleed to kind of the end of my ovulation, I'm way more social. I've got the energy and the resilience to be out, to party. And then as soon as I hit like day 16, 15, 16, I'm feeling like more sensitive, recluse. I don't want to really go out. I cancel on my friends. And so if you can get into the habit of knowing your cycle and you do have the flexibility to go with the cycle, then that's amazing. Some of us don't always have that liberty, but if you can, then it's worthwhile. Breathwork is one of the fastest ways to change your state. So you can change your nervous system in minutes through your breath. There's a reason why breathwork facilitators and classes have peaked in the last few years, and that's because there is a clear study that shows that breathing properly, breathing in through the nose, and then out through the mouth for a little bit longer. So what I love to do is breathe in through the nose 4 and breathe out for 8. And just by doing that, I can already feel like my nervous system's calming, but that's just after one breath. And apparently you only need 3 to 10 breaths to really alter your nervous system. So give it a try if you haven't. It's not just for hippies or biohackers, it can be for you too. Slow breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system. CO2 tolerance affects anxiety levels, and breath patterns directly impact heart rate variability. So breathing is another beautiful way. The hidden cost of being the strong one. So many mums out there that I know just do it all. And behind the strong one often means being the one who never gets held. I've had people ask me, when do you get to be the little spoon? And in a way, I've definitely tried to hold everyone all the time. My daughter, be strong for my daughter, be strong for my partner and my family, and feeling that responsibility to hold my shit together. And it can be tough. It can be tough. There has to be an outlet for everyone to move that pressure. So chronic emotional suppression increases stress load. Caregiver roles often correlate with burnout. Emotional expression reduces physiological stress markers. So if you don't have anyone to talk to, or you don't have space to emotionally release, one thing that's really helped me is when I am holding a lot, there's this feeling of rage that comes through sometimes, or unfairness. Doesn't always have to be tears. And I've noticed rage release practices really help, whether it be screaming into your hand, bashing your pillow. It can be anything, but just make sure you don't hurt yourself. And screaming underwater is a really good one. If you've got kids, screaming in the car or screaming in the bath, so you're not screaming down the entire house, because it can be a little bit scary. Why modern life is dysregulating you. Your nervous system wasn't designed for notifications, caffeine, and constant pressure. Blue light impacts circadian rhythm, so that's all screens. Constant stimulation reduces dopamine sensitivity, so always looking for that next stimulant, whether it be caffeine. There's so many people that are on ADHD medication now, alcohol. If you're constantly seeking that dopamine hit, then your dopamine sensitivity can decrease. And I am definitely guilty of that. I love my stimulants. Poor sleep equals increased cortisol plus reduced emotional regulation. So if I have a bad night's sleep and then I've got shit tons to do the next day, I do notice that my stress hormones are up and I'm just more testy. If I have a good night's sleep, then I'm so much more resilient the next day. And so many people that I have spoken to said that their sleep is so crappy, especially the women in my age bracket, like from 35 to 45. We're starting to head into that perimenopausal phase and sleep, and also having small children. So again, why I developed the tincture Rest and Restore. It's a beautiful tincture with blue lotus, Californian poppy, and ashwagandha. And I have it before bed. And if I ever wake up through the night, because of perimenopause, I'll have it again. And it just allows me to drop back into a deep sleep. But oh my gosh, I love my sleep. It's so important to me. Pleasure is a nervous system state, not a luxury. Pleasure isn't indulgent, it's regulatory. So we all know those women, even men, but I more notice it in women who are just, they seem tough. And I always see these women and, they're complaining and they don't really have a lot of tolerance for anything. And I kind of just think to myself, like, they just need a really good orgasm. And it's true. There's something absolutely beautiful that happens to the body when we go into a pleasurable state. And that orgasm releases so much tension and brings oxygen to the brain. Oxytocin and serotonin increases in relaxed, pleasurable states. Safety is required for the body to access pleasure. So some of these people who are really uptight and they haven't had an orgasm in a long time, they might be in fight or flight. They also could be experiencing high anxiety and in a relationship where they don't feel safe. And that just, it sucks. And if you are one of those people in that situation, like, find a space for yourself where you do feel safe. Take yourself away for a night and just allow yourself to be in that state of pleasure, to just relax and come back into center. Chronic stress reduces libido and sensory awareness. So you can completely lose touch of your body altogether if you're in a chronic stressful situation. Another reason why I take Blue Lotus. Your environment shapes your state. You don't need more discipline, you need a better environment. I mean, some of us do not have a choice around this, especially if you have 2-3 kids. Environment cues drive behavior. Clutter increases cortisol levels. Nature exposure reduces stress and improves mood. So if you have got a really messy house, there's kids stuff everywhere, you haven't got the energy to clean or the money to get a cleaner, then at least take yourself out in nature for a day and get that rejuvenation from just having your feet on the earth and being immersed completely in nature. I know that for me, if things are cluttered in my house, I do get really flustered and constantly figuring out ways that I can just remove clutter from my eyesight, because I noticed how much more productive I am in a environment that feels clean and organized. And that's not for everyone, because I've been in a lot of artists' rooms before and it's crazy and they know where everything is. And so not everyone is like that, but as long as it's feeling good for you, you know that what's best for you. The truth about healing. Healing isn't becoming someone new. It's returning to who you were before the world shaped you. Facts. Neuroplasticity allows change at any age. Repetition and emotional safety rewires patterns. Identity shifts are required for long-term change. So this is basically saying that everyone is at their own stage of healing, and no matter what age you are, there is an opportunity for growth and change. So if you've been a certain way for a really long time and you just feel like it's impossible to live another way, well, luckily, because of neuroplasticity, as long as you have the willingness and the intention to change, to make your life better, to come back into yourself, to remember who you truly are, then there is an opportunity there for you to come back to who you are at the core before life put all of its pressure onto you. So as you listen to this, I just want you to take a moment for yourself and close your eyes and just start to feel your body, your feet, your legs, where your body is touching the chair or the floor or the car seat. And take a deep breath through your nose and out through the mouth. And know that Anything is possible, and you are on the path. And now, with this awareness of how important the nervous system is, just this one breath is going to make a difference to your day to day. And if it's just one breath that you have time for, that's perfect. So enjoy your day, stay centered, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. And if you're ready to deepen your connection with the wild, the raw, and the untamed, explore the power of Blue Lotus with Blue Lotus Effect, awakening the mind, body, and spirit. Until next time, stay wild.